Good evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome in to another edition of the Big Man on Campus Sports Betting Podcast. I'm your host, the Big Man on Campus. We're here. It's 5 o'clock on Tuesday, April 2nd. We will get in to the card here. We got some basketball tonight, got some baseball. I'm not going to be on very long tonight, be on for about a half hour, but we will give some opinions. I got thoughts on all four of these games here tonight, and then we'll get into a few baseball games. Last night on the Diamond went 1-2. Gave out the Seattle Mariners. They came in losers with the Chicago Cubs. They get blanked against the Braves. Braves get their first win, and then the Red Sox with an odd performance against the Oakland Athletics. So we move on to tonight. We'll get to some basketball and baseball here. Make sure you tune in. Do me a favor. Hit the like button. Say hello in the chat. If you're on Twitter, please retweet the show. Always a great way to get it out to people that maybe don't know what's on or that we're live here. We'll be here every day talking baseball, talking hoops, whatever we got going on. Welcome in James, Mike, Pimster McDingle, Luciano, and John all chiming in. John is here. Welcome in. Luciano, greetings from Little Italy in Baltimore. I didn't know there was a Little Italy in Baltimore, but it's good to know that there is. I've always had some interest in Baltimore as far as obviously I'm a big Wire guy, and I actually used to go to Baltimore quite frequently. It's not too far from where I currently live. I always had some interest in, I guess, why there wasn't an organized crime element there. I know back like in the 50s and 60s there was, but I've noticed kind of over the years it was never really a big hub for organized crime. I know, there's plenty of Italians in the area, and it is a decent place as far as being in the middle of kind of near Philly and New York. Obviously, it's a good thoroughfare between 95. So I always wondered why there wasn't an organized crime thing there. You guys know I'm a big mob guy, like the story history and stuff, and I always wondered why there wasn't a big mob presence down in Baltimore. But that's interesting. Glad to have you, Luciano. Thanks for checking out the show. I know there was some kind of crew down there at one point. I want to say, at least pretty much in the 50s, 60s. I know Frank Corby was a guy that was running things down in Baltimore, but I don't know if it's still around, but interesting nonetheless. Thanks for watching, Luciano. Who else do we have in here? Funny B, David, Juan, Tommy S, Tyler. What's up? Welcome in from Canada. Armard's in here. Mike Butler, Ferdinando. What's happening? John, Shadow. Okay, Fells Point, Inner Harbor. It's a pretty nice area then. Pretty well endowed people down there. So good stuff. All right, guys, let's get into the show. Please make sure, guys, you're supporting our sponsor. It's MyBookie. We are powered here on the show by MyBookie. If you're in the market for a new book, or you're really just looking to get on with one, make sure MyBookie's in your arsenal. A great book with plenty of great odds, great contests, quick and easy withdrawals, and you get paid within 48 hours with Bitcoin, really whatever you want. You want to bet on Oklahoma City tonight? They're facing the struggling Lakers. Make sure you're doing it at MyBookie. You got NIT, NASCAR, Grand Prix, NBA, all sorts of stuff at MyBookie. And we have a special promo code. So if you listen to the show, you want to support the show, go get MyBookie. Use promo code BMOC. Again, BMOC. When you open your account in the promo code box, you'll get a 50% deposit bonus. So in layman's terms, you put $300 on, they're going to give you $150 absolutely free to bet with the book. So make sure you're checking out MyBookie today. One of the friends of the show and the sponsor of the show. Go check them out now. MyBookie. Use promo code BMOC. Sandy Bailey, welcome in. KD, Leroy, Blake, everybody in here. Thanks for joining us. All right, guys, let's get into some basketball. We got 4 games tonight. 2 are in the NIT. We got a couple CBI and CIT games. Frankly, I don't even know what tournaments these are. I think they're the CBI, but let's get into them here. NIT. We'll start out with Wichita State and Lipscomb up in New York City, Madison Square Garden, and Lipscomb is now the favorite. So you're starting to see some money coming in on Lipscomb. Lipscomb was a pretty sharp side for most of the week, and they still are. But I think the odds makers just kind of got this one wrong. I think they put this number at Pick'em and even +1 for Lipscomb. And look, I just think sharps kind of realized that Lipscomb's the right side here. I would have probably put this number at 1.5 for Lipscomb. I think they're the better basketball team. Wichita obviously has a pedigree of being Wichita, but this isn't a typical Greg Marshall team. They are playing a lot better, though. You look at overall, really haven't lost. They only lost once since February 23rd. The only loss coming in a 3-point game in the American Athletic Conference tournament against Cincinnati. So, overall, you got to look at Wichita. They're playing some really good basketball. Beat some good teams come in. Furman, Clemson. A really solid resume so far. But, look, I've been in Lipscomb's corner all year, and I think they're going to have a lot of success in this game for two reasons. You look at just how good their offense is. 37th in efficiency, 22nd in three-point percentage. Very good inside the half court as well. Get to the free throw line and are effective. Garrison Matthews is as good as it gets. And, look, this starting five is as good as it gets. They have some length. They have great guard play with Kenny Cooper and Eli Pepper as a kind of a 3-4. Matthews kind of runs the show. I just think this is a game where it should be close, but I think Lipscomb's the better team. You also look at this Wichita team. They've struggled this year against the three-point shot. You look at in conference, opponent shot 35% from three, 8th in that conference. Lipscomb has really both abilities here. They can defend and they can play very good offense. This Wichita team, not a great offensive team either. Don't really rebound at a high level, particularly defensively. So I never think Wichita can rebound and just kind of get some easy second-half opportunities, second-chance opportunities. I've been on with Lipscomb all year. I don't see any reason to not back them here. I think this line was off to begin with. TCU, Texas. Texas getting a 1.5 here. TCU, the favorite here, 65% of the money and 66% of the tickets on TCU. And I get why they are. TCU is playing great basketball. They've won an average in their NIT games, by an average of 14 points. They've been very good all year offensively. And Y, Robinson, Desmond Bain, all these guys have been terrific all season. They had a little bit of a rough stretch in the Big 12 at times. A lot of it was when Kawhi and Y was out. But with him back, this team, they won this tournament last year. Jamie Dixon's a guy that knows how to win these tournaments. You look at what TCU does well defensively, and it's guard the three-point line. They're very good from three as far as limiting opportunities. They were number one in the Big 12 as far as pushing teams off the three-point line. And you look at Texas, I mean, that's most of where their offense comes from, the three-point line. You look at 37% of their points come from the three-point line as far as point distribution, which is 56th in the country. Definitely very reliant on getting to the three-point line. No Jackson Hayes. He's not playing in this tournament. So there you go with a ton of height going. I mean, he's your biggest guy, Jackson Hayes, 6'11". He's a guy that gave you a real good offensive rating all season, terrific block shot artist. I mean, he blocked he was 19th in the country in block percentage. He was a terrific front court player. I think without him, they're going to struggle against a guy like Kawhi Nwai. Kawhi's played very well this year for TCU. He's one of their better bigs. He's like a tweener. They don't have a ton of height at TCU, but they're a good rebounding team, do a nice job in the offensive glass. I like them in this game. I think the finals TCU Lipscomb. I really do. And when we get to that point, we'll talk about it. Marshall and Hampton should be a fun game in this one. Should see plenty of points. Total obviously very high, up at 173.5. It's come down from 175. 173.5, you really need everything to go right here. You really need everything to kind of come to fruition here. But it should. I mean, both these teams are not good defensively. Both these teams are very poor guarding. They just don't do very much in the defensive end. Both of them are very good as far as tempo is concerned. You look at Marshall, average possession length, 4th in the country. Very quick. Very quick. Both these teams, 76th and 4th in possession length. Efficiency is very good. So I'd expect plenty of points in this game. I don't really see any reason that Hampton slows it down. Two great scorers in Morrow and Elmore on both these teams. Both teams shoot the three ball at a pretty high level, and both are good from the line. This is definitely a great tonic for a total. You should see a lot of up and down basketball, not a ton of turnovers. Both these teams are terrific at protecting the ball, great guard play. I think the pace will be there. Again, you need everything to go right with a total at 173, but I could definitely see this game, 89, 87, 90 to 86, 91, 85. I could definitely see that. But you need a lot to go right here. You're hoping both teams get into the 90s here, which in a college game, it's tough. You need a lot to go right here. Texas Southern and Wisconsin Green Bay. Interesting game here, but I'm kind of seeing through the bullshit, to be honest. Texas Southern dealing with some injuries right now, which obviously hurts. And Green Bay is a team that I look defensively. I think they've really improved. I really believe they've improved. Now in this game, am I going to tell you that I think it's a low-scoring game? No, but do I think it gets into the 170s? I think with the way Green Bay's defended, I think they're better than people think, especially lately. They've played pretty good defense, Green Bay. I think they could definitely slow this game down. I'll be honest, I like Green Bay in this game. Texas Southern's just a team right now to me that, look, they can play well against like your New Orleans, your Rio Grande Valleys or whoever. But I think Green Bay is a different animal. I really do. I think Sandy Cohen's as good as it gets. I like the way they, as I said, defended guys like Tank Hemphill. They played some great defense for this group. I just think they're kind of on another level than Texas Southern. You look at right now, from what I've heard, Texas Southern dealing with some injuries. Jalen Patterson didn't play much in the last game, which, if he's out, that's a pretty big loss. Jalen Patterson only played 7 minutes in the last game. He's a guy out of Atlanta, Georgia, that's been a real key cog to this group. He had 29 in the conference tournament final against Prairie View. This is a guy that regularly gives you double digits. You really need him in the lineup. And if you don't have him, that's a big loss. You look at in conference, like Jalen Patterson took 21.7% of their shots, which is a pretty wide amount of their shots. Without him, I kind of understand where this line is. So for me in the 4 games, I would lean with Texas Christian, Lipscomb, Marshall Hampton over, and Green Bay. But I have one premium play out of this group of plays tonight. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. About 140 people in here. Thanks for joining. Glad to see all of you. Hopefully we get this chat back to where it was, 400 or 500 people during the basketball season. And I know most people think I'm just a college basketball handicapper, which is fine. I do enjoy both sports, though, and all the sports. I love NBA, which we'll start getting to more and more. And, I'll start to kind of show you guys how I cap NBA. And we got baseball, which I'm not going to give a ton of baseball tonight, probably just 1 or 2 plays. But we'll get back into baseball tomorrow. Definitely a big card tonight. And I'll say this. Tonight you get the Phillies in Washington, Scherzer against Eflin. Scherzer laying a big number here, but for good reason. Max Scherzer is Max Scherzer. And, to me, I think if you ask me who the best pitcher in baseball is, I would tell you it's Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer's had tremendous seasons against the Phillies, but we have to remember it's a much different Phillies team. This is a Phillies team right now playing with a ton of confidence to start the season. They're scoring runs. Their pitching's been pretty good. But, look, I don't know about Eflin. I'm not a big Eflin guy. His FIP was very good last year, which if you look at analytics, ERA doesn't mean much. FIP is really a true indication of what a pitcher probably is. And he had a pretty good FIP last year. So there's reason for optimism if you are a Phillies fan. You look at kind of to start the season, though, you look at some of these numbers. Definitely plenty of experience for this Phillies team against Max Scherzer. But you look at Franco. He struggled considerably. You look at up and down this lineup. No one with a ton of success, really. JT Realmuto, 36 at-bats, a .83 average against Scherzer. Gene Segura, limited appearances, 176. Bryce Harper's never faced Max Scherzer, obviously being on the Nationals. So, there's a lot of question marks about this lineup tonight. This is a road game. It's pretty cold around here. You're not in your friendly confines anymore. You look at opening day for Max Scherzer, 12 strikeouts over 7 2/3. Max Scherzer is as good as it gets. It's just that simple. There's no pitcher on Max Scherzer's level to me in baseball. I think he's that good. He's had very good success against his Phillies team. And I got to tell you, I think they can get a little bit off of Adam Eaton, or not Adam Eaton. Adam Eaton and those guys can get a little bit off Eflin as well. So if I'm looking at this game, I'm kind of liking a first 5 -1/2 on the Nationals. I like that play here. I've picked the Nationals to win this division. I think they're going to. I think the pitching staff that they have, I think the lineup they have, I think it's as good as it gets. So in this game, I think Eflin is a guy you can score some runs off of. Look, if you lay the -1/2 with Scherzer and they don't get you any run support, it is what it is. I mean, unfortunately, guys, we don't go up and we don't hit for this team. So, there's not much we can do. But over the course of the first few games here, I'm willing to think that the Nationals can score some runs here and at least be up after the first 5. I like the rotation matchup, and I like this lineup, and I'm willing to think they can. I'm willing to think they can get a job done. So, as far as this one, first play, I'm going to go with Washington -1/2 at -120 in Washington, Philadelphia. If you have any sports betting comments or questions, feel free to ask them. I'll gladly get to them. You have a question, on anything in the sports betting business, feel free to ask. I'm going to get to something here in just a minute on some funny things that I've seen on the internet, sports betting. I am going to talk about KFC against Action Bronson. I don't know if anyone saw that. I want to get to that a little bit. I've had my fair share of irritations with KFC. I do think he's funny, and I do like his content, but I thought he was way out of line today with his behavior with Action Bronson. And again, I'm just offering my opinion. But let's go through one or two more. There's no way in hell the Nats win the division. Well, why is that? You want to offer an opinion as to why? Because it's not like I'm the only person saying that. They have the best rotation probably in baseball, and they have a really good lineup. What do you mean there's no way in hell? What are you, a Mets fan? Oh, no, you're a Detroit Tiger fan. Well, I guess it would suck to be you because, your team's pretty bad. But why don't you offer a reason instead of just saying there's no way in hell the Nats win the division? Because, that's pretty – you're not really offering much. Pretty vague there. I'll go through one or two more here. I got to tell you, I'm going to probably keep riding Seattle. I'm going to keep playing Seattle. I like this team. I like the way they're playing right now to open the season. 6-1. I like what I've seen out of Marco Gonzalez against the Angels in his career. He's had some good numbers. 3-0 with a 3.34. He won both his starts. I'm not a big Trevor Cahill guy. His first start sucked. Wasn't any good. This is a guy right now that I don't want. And this is a lineup right now that, to be honest, I just don't think can hit. They're not hitting right now. I think they've scored 12 runs in 5 games. It's not good enough. It's per usual. If you can kind of avoid Mike Trout, you're probably going to do pretty well against this lineup. It's just that simple. Cole Calhoun, very limited success. David Fletcher, Pujols, all these guys, John Lucroy, all these guys have very limited success against Marco Gonzalez. The only people that have success are Andrelton Simmons and Mike Trout. I'm willing to say, you know what? I like the matchup. I like their bullpen, and I like the way they're hitting right now. Tim Beckham's been on fire. Tim Beckham's been terrific so far this year. He's been a real table setter for this team. Is he Gene Segura? Maybe. He's hitting .423. 11 hits and 26 at-bats so far this year. 3 home runs. Tim Beckham's been on fire. A 1.401 OPS. Obviously, that's not going to stick long-term, but still. This team's playing some good baseball right now. Really like what I'm seeing out of them. I'm going to keep riding this train with the Mariners. I like where I'm going. I like where we're sitting with this group. Decent. Again, guys, I'm really just dipping my feet in MLB. My premium plays will start, over the next week or two. I'm just kind of getting a feel for baseball right now. Um, I'd also tell you that, and it's funny because I'm not really I'm kind of going against one hot team and kind of grabbing another hot team, but I just see over 6 out of 7 games this Mariner team playing great baseball. I'm going to keep riding them. The Phillies, I think they had a pretty good opponent the first 3 games. They were dealing with all the Bryce Harper phenomenon, and they were scoring a ton of runs against a bad rotation. But now you're going to kind of go at a buzzsaw tonight. So, you know, that's kind of my thought process there. The other game I'm going to take a look at, and again, I won't. If you guys have no interest in playing this, I wouldn't. I'm not going to ever tell you that you should bet on these teams, but I kind of like Baltimore tonight. I kind of do. Cashner didn't pitch well in that first game against the Yankees, but I'm getting Stroman off an elite performance. He carried a no-hitter into the 7th inning. I know he's healthy, but this is just too big of a price. This is a Toronto team that just got rid of Kevin Pillar today. The lineup's not particularly talented. Let's just be honest with ourselves here. And look, the fact that this group is laying, 180, I mean, I'm not interested. Just not. I'm not going to offer a lot, but it's really just a fade of a guy that pitched really well in his first game. And I'm getting 2 lineups that I think pretty much cancel each other out. And, it'd probably come down to a bullpen game. I don't need Cashner to give me 7 scoreless. Just give me something. I mean, not a ton of real success against Cashner for any of these guys. I mean, why are Toronto laying this kind of number? So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts tonight. I got beat last night on a fucking run line game. I want to say Houston won by 1 run, which pretty much sucked. I mean, their pitching was terrific last night. This team right now just is having trouble scoring runs. That's really the issue with Houston. I mean, luckily last night they got terrific pitching. They only had 8 hits though. It sucks. They're just not hitting. No one in this lineup's doing much of anything right now. What are my thoughts on the Orioles this year? They're doing this thing called a bullpen day that could be interesting from a betting perspective. Yeah, I mean, that's we saw teams do that last year. The Rays did it. I think they're pretty bad roster-wise, but I think early on you might have some value in betting on them. Tim Beckham was a great bargain DFS last year on the O's. He's very consistent. Yeah, agreed. Feel free to send in any questions you might have, whether they're sports betting related or whatever. What do I like about the Mariner bullpen? I like Renis Elias a lot. I think he's a terrific player, good pitcher. I like Corey Guerin. I think he's a capable closer. Swarzak, I always liked him. I mean, I think they're enough. I mean, they're not overly great, but I don't really think I said that I'm not in love with them. So they're okay. I think they're good. What do we got here? Did I see the video of Paulie Malignaggi slapping Artem Labov? Yeah, I did. Listen, I mean, you don't go into someone's gym talking bullshit. I mean, I don't know the full story, but yeah, I saw it. Paulie doesn't take any shit from anybody. And that's something that, guys like Artem Lubov think they can go around and just, do what they want. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. And there had to have been something going on there. I don't really know what it was all about because Artem Lobov is a MMA guy and Paulie Malignaggi's a boxer. I don't know what was going on there, but I gotta read into it a little bit more. But I don't know what was going on. I mean, Paulie's got a lot of balls to do that because I feel like Lobov would beat the fuck out of him probably. I guess I really don't know what is he trying to why did he do this? Like what is this proof? Because like he's not going to go in and fight Lobov. So, like what is he? I don't understand what he's doing here. I mean, I don't know what happened though. It seems like there was something happened, and if you come in someone's gym and the gym that they're at, you probably shouldn't be doing stuff like that. So, what are my thoughts on whip? Where's too high for you from a pitcher? I wouldn't get involved with anyone's whip over 1.2. Yeah, I wouldn't whip. I want the whip around 1.05, 1.1. Like that. That's pretty capable. If you're on Twitter, please retweet the show. Thanks, Tug, for doing that. Appreciate that. A couple guys always retweeting the show. Thanks for growing the show every day, guys. Really helpful. Give out some basketball and some baseball today. They're fighting in a bare knuckle boxing fight. I didn't hear about that. Well, that'll be interesting. I don't really follow much with Paulie Malignaggi anymore because there's no reason to really follow him. Just he's just an announcer now. Big man, do you like Green Bay to win tonight against Texas Southern? I mean, I just went over all 4 games. Please listen back to the show. I'm not going over the games again. I can't do it. It's boring. It's boring if I just go back through everything. No, that's not true either. Listen, just let him go back and watch the show. It's better when you listen to the show and you get to hear why I like something. You know, that's what I would do. Just go back and watch it. You can rewind, and I would do that, or watch it after the show. So I saw that Action Bronson had it out with KFC today on KFC Radio. Which look, I thought he was way out of line. KFC. I mean, that's not something you ask someone like Action Bronson. Especially if there's been clear beef. Ghostface Kill and Action Bronson have got into it before. They don't like each other, and to go on and ask him about that was pretty out of line. I thought. I don't know what he was thinking doing that, and it really kind of ruined the interview. Actually, I know KFC like everything's funny to him and stuff, but it's like I don't know with people like Action Bronson, you don't do that kind of shit. So I thought it was a bit out of line. It's okay. You can rewind the show. I just want everyone to know that you can rewind the show. This is not like radio where you kind of just miss it. You can rewind it, or you can watch it after. It's not podcasted, but it's archived always to watch after the fact. The AAF is done, which I don't think anyone's overly surprised by that. The AAF was. I think a pretty much sinking ship. It was kind of cool for like the first hour, and then it was just like, this really isn't that cool, I guess. The guy that killed Nipsey Hussle allegedly was apprehended today. We had to figure that wouldn't last long. And you gotta think that it's better that he's off the street as opposed to being on the street. You'd have to figure he was a dead man walking pretty quickly. But listen, this is now you're hearing that this guy was an informant. He was a rat piece of shit. And like any of us, I know with the circles that I would be friends with, if I was at the barbershop and and it would never really happen because most of these shitheads don't have the balls to do it. But if you're a rat, generally you just run away. You don't really fuck around with anybody. I mean, this guy's obviously he's got some mental problems. I think that's pretty clear. You know, it's a shame. I mean, I talked about it yesterday. It's a total shame. Um, if this guy was a known informant, you got to wonder, was he connected at all to the? Was he a federal informant? What kind of informant was he? Because then that begins to start with the, you know, the conspiracy theories. This isn't a conspiracy theory. Again, this is some fucking guy whose pride was tested. He didn't like what he heard because Nipsey Hussle told him to fuck off, probably because he's a fucking rat piece of shit, which is what he is. He should be hung or killed, probably, because people like him have no business being on the same earth as us. And he told me to go fuck off, and this guy took shit from it. And now we all have to deal with a beloved figure in the community dead because of this shithead. People like this should be literally taken down into the bottom of the jail and fucking shot in the head. They serve no purpose. He's a complete subhuman scumbag. That's exactly what he is. And you know, to be honest with you, it's a real shame because now we have a guy that is a beloved figure that's gone, and really, this guy should be fucking locked up anyway. He's a fucking snitch piece of shit. So he got out of it, and now he's on the street. This should have been prevented. This fucking loser lowlife should never have been on the street. And again, because we allow these fucking rat scumbags to purvey us and to win cases for the police, they get to be out in the street. This guy's a fucking murderer scumbag piece of shit. He shouldn't be anywhere near the street. And this is why we shouldn't trust these fucking rat fuckheads. These fucking pieces of shit that, you know, they do the crime, but they don't want to do the time. So they air everyone out, and then they're out in the street and living their life. They're fucking criminals. This is why we shouldn't do business with these people. We will not stop doing business with these people because they're the reason cases are solved. The cops couldn't find any cases if these people were not around. It's fucked up, man. It's real fucked up. He'll be PC'd. He'll never be in. He's just like the kid in New York that killed Frank Cali. No one's in it. The only way someone gets to him is if, you know, they're off their game for a day and someone sneaks in and, you know, stabs him or something. I mean, but I mean, he didn't kill a cop or anything, so it's doubtful that law enforcement will assist here. So, yeah, I mean, he's. I mean, he's. The problem is here, and again, if he's an informant, he is out of prison because of his cooperation. You can make the case that he should not be on the street. Two of his family members already got smoked. Well, that's even more pathetic. His family has nothing to do with it. That's really sad, actually, if that's true. Um, just is. But it's literally a sad story either way you look at it. So we have to stop killing each other. You know, it's I never understood that. And look, I have my own morals and the way of thinking, but you know, if you're just a citizen on the street and you get into a fight with somebody, I never really understood going and killing them. Of course I don't, because that's not how people think, but it doesn't make any sense. So like if I go, like, let's say I get into a fight with somebody because I don't like them. I mean, the younger me probably would go and fight them. But it's like whether I go fight them or not, so let's say I do go fight them, I still don't like them. I'm gonna catch a case over them. I'm not gonna give them that fucking satisfaction. You know? Too many kids don't think. They don't think about anything. They just do. most kids don't understand that this clout shit and all this stuff. It's like it doesn't get you anywhere unless you're in this kind of business where you know you kind of need like you need followers and you need people to watch you and stuff like that. You know, the more eyes, the better. It might be in your world, but in the real world, it's not. I mean, in most maybe back in the day, but nowadays it's not. The unfortunate part of the factor is the second person generally gets the worst of it because at the end of the day, there's nothing in the dictionary that says retaliation is legal. It's not. It's still murder at the end of the day. There's really no way of getting out of it. Like I get it. I get what you're saying, and I'm going to tell you right now, if anything ever happened to my immediate family or something, I would go murder the person and have no problem doing it. I would go to jail willingly. I would have no issue with that because I would feel that I did a service to my family. But to you know nowadays it's very hard to do it, and that's why a lot of these subsets don't really last much anymore. There's a reason the mob's not as big as it used to be because it's very difficult. You know, with wiretaps and all the technology and there's just there's just not a lot of ability to do it anymore. Everybody's a snitch now. Everybody's wants to cooperate with the government. Nobody wants to do anything. And the truth of the matter is, you can make a lot of money legally now. With how they're cracking down on drugs and everything's a school zone. Everything is you know exactly. It's a great point, DJ One Mike. Living your life better than your enemy is really the best retaliation. That's so true. That's what I had to realize about even on the internet and stuff. I used to care what people thought about me, and when they said stuff about me, I would fly off the handle, and I still do it occasionally. But I had to realize that I got to stop doing that because I'm giving these people the benefit, and I don't care anymore as I get older. I don't care really what people think of me. So I don't let it bother me. But I looked at success and say, well, if I can just keep being successful and keep doing stuff that I like to do, that's the biggest deterrent of kind of showing. And I don't really care anymore. It's like, well, okay, well, you think that way, that's fine. But that's very true, man. It just sucks when these, and it's going to get worse. These kids today, man, they don't have any respect for anything. They don't have respect. Like when I was younger, I had respect for like the older people around. I wanted to have a conversation with them. I wanted to learn the way of everything. So like if you would treat people with respect. Now it's these kids don't have respect for nobody. Everything's funny. Everything's fucking movie. Everything's filmed. Nobody helps anybody anymore. Doing stuff for other people stupid and dumb and lame. You donate to somebody, it's oh you didn't give me enough. It's like there's no there's no appreciation anymore for anything. You do it with the choice of you're doing it because you want to do it. But these young kids, they don't have any respect. They don't understand that you're literally throwing your life away for one stupid argument that in 5 years you're gonna look back and say, like, what the fuck did I do in my life? And that's the saddest thing to me about the justice system. You have a lot of kids that just, I mean, you make one mistake and that's it. And that's how it should be. Like if you murder somebody, you got to deal with the consequences of it. But what I don't have respect for are these fucking people that they do shit, they kill 15 people, and then they go to the feds and say, "Oh well, I'll tell you what happened if you let me out." It's pathetic. I just try to be who I am. I don't try to get involved with too many people. I don't do all this dumb little shit. I just maybe I live a boring life, but I'm happy with it. I have fun in the summer. We go down and hang out with people that are kind of doing the same things I'm doing, and you just stay away. I'm close, but not too close. If they give them just enough where they need me, that's how it should be. You give them just enough. But yeah, sports is great. That's why we have it. We can almost kind of get away from it, right? You come on here and talk about sports. We talk about whatever, you know. But yeah, that's that. So, regard, guys, we'll stay on for another 5 minutes or so. If you have any other questions or comments, feel free to send them in. Exactly. Great point. Great point, man. That's what I told my friend, a friend of mine. He's locked up right now, and him and I talk a lot about like when it's all over, you know. And I told him, I said, you know, you gotta live a regular life. No more. You gotta live the regular way. No more bullshit. No more dumb shit. You gotta live like every other one of us. You know. You just gotta be straight and narrow. You know. I said just because people say your life's boring, that's better than being. You know, he'll give. You know, over 5 years of his life. You know, to prison, and you know you have to think about the shit you do and make sure you don't go back. Eileen Lipscomb. Did I see the thing about the girl in South Carolina? Yeah, it's what a terrible story. What a just a sad, sad, sad story. We just heartbreaking, really. I actually called my sister, my girl. I called everyone that I know that uses Uber, and I told them, look, you know, I'm not trying to be and tell you what to do, but you make sure when you're getting into that fucking car, you know who it is. Because a lot of people don't. They just quickly they're worried about their phone or someone talking to them, and they just get in. Once you get into a car, it's pretty hard to get out. If they lock you in, there's nothing you can do. It's a foreign car. You've never been in it, probably. You don't know where the buttons are. You ever get into a car and it's not yours? It takes you 5-10 minutes to sit there and just realize where shit is. I have a problem with the friends of the girl. And I'm not blaming them for this, but you got to be a better friend. You got to stay with that friend and say, listen, I'm going to make sure. Where was the fucking guy around? Like, was there any men there? I mean, are we as men so fucking worried about just fucking abroad or drinking and getting drunk that we're actually going to let a girl stand there alone and not say, hey, do you need help? You need help with something? Let me step up and help you here. I'm not going to leave you to stand here. I'm going to go with you and make sure you get home right. And I'm going to go home after you by myself because I'm a man and that's what a man does. Do we have no fucking, like, I saw the video. There's people standing there. Where were her friends? I would never let a girl that's important to me go home alone with somebody that she doesn't know. It's not going to happen for me. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm not going to let that happen. The world's a fucked up place, and men are fucked up. And that's why, for me, for most of my life, I've been very against my sister dating anybody because I know how I am and how I was. And I don't want fucking anybody near my sister, you know? And I really worry about my sister because she, you know, she's like any other girl, you know, and anyone, you know, any girl you're close to, you know, you don't, whether it's a cousin or a niece or anybody, you know, you don't, you know, I know how I was, you know, and how guys are, but I saw that and I want to cry, you know, because no family deserves that. I saw the other day about like in New York, there was they put there was a jogger, a beautiful, beautiful girl. I remember 2 years ago, beautiful girl. She's out running. Some fucking lowlife grabbed her, raped her, and killed her. And I saw this week they gave him he was found guilty of it. And you know, just the littlest things. Like I've told my mother, like my mom, like when I was younger, my mother would run outside, and I remember my father came home and found out and told her, you know, no more of that. You know, you look at some of these chicks, they're out running around, they got fucking headphones in their ears. You know, you and I are all good people, but there's a lot of fucking lowlifes out there that have no issue with just scooping a chick up. They got nothing they can do because they're a man, and the woman's just gonna have to deal with it. And there's nothing they can do. You know, go to a gym, run on a treadmill, or go to a track like a school track, like a high school track or something. Everything we do nowadays, we have to think about, especially if you're a woman. Everything. Don't be on a fucking phone. Don't have fucking headphones in your ears. Walk with 2 people. Walk with 3 people. Don't get on the subway late at night by yourself. Don't, none of this shit. Everything it's fucking stupid, but everyone on this chat tonight, if you have a daughter, a sister, a niece, a grandkid, a fucking wife, anybody in your life that you care about, you should have this fucking conversation with. To wake up and stop just living your life the way you should, because nowadays we can't do that anymore. We have to make sure women in our lives understand that you can't do this kind of shit anymore. You can't just walk out of your house and be nonchalantly just thinking about, oh, life's okay, because it's not. There's fucking predators out there that want to hurt you. And I'm not trying to be like a fucking crazy, but it's true. Just understand where you're going and what you're doing. Thank you, James. Appreciate that, man. You got to, man. You got to teach her the right way, bro. But yeah, everything I do, man, I think about. Anytime I go somewhere, I go somewhere. Where's the exit? How do I get out of here if something happens? Because nowadays we have to think about that shit. I hate sitting in closed spots. Like, I hate sitting in a car. I hate it. I will never do it. I'm in and out. I don't want to be boxed in. I want to know where exits are. I want to know how to get out of places. I don't really trust nobody. I don't trust the fucking police to do the job either. Because what do they got? What do they got going on? What do they have up their sleeve? But yeah, I would just tell, make sure your, kids and friends and people, hey, look, you got to drink with a few of your friends and there's a girl, and she, maybe she's annoying or you don't want to be around her, but, just staying with her and getting her home okay, and that means a lot to people, man. And nowadays we're so quick to let people know where we live. It's like you go on one of those fucking apps, you're literally giving your address to a stranger. Okay, so let's say you give, you got a pretty girlfriend or something. She gives her address to a stranger. They literally know where she lives. We're so quick to just do that now. That's why, I live in a building, and I have some sort of protection. I don't have just some of these people I see, they have an Uber. They literally walk out of their house as the Uber gets there. And literally, if that fucking Uber is some fucking lowlife, he knows where she lives. He follows her every move. Really, have them drop you off 2 houses away. Exactly. Or get a little pistol. Teach them how to use it. Take them to the driving range or to the shooting range and say, look, we're going to take a Saturday or 2. I'm going to teach you how to shoot this gun. Of course they probably are. But I got to tell you, it's a pretty random fucking thing, Uber. Anybody can do it. There's no checks and balances to it. I could literally murder 3 people, do 40 years in prison, get out, and go drive for Uber. I could have just killed somebody. Turn on that Uber light and go drive. It's it's pretty crazy. So there you go. Public service announcement. Make sure you talk to your fucking women in your life about, being fucking safe. Taking the extra minute or 2 to not, be busy when something happens, know where things are. Because people panic. That's the biggest problem. You look at a rip current. Rip currents when you get into the ocean. Most people die in rip currents because they panic. You have to understand you swim the other way. If you just don't panic, you'll be okay. Most people panic. If you just don't panic, you'll be okay. So there, that's another PSA. Don't panic. Just do things, be calm, understand what's going on, and get out of it. And look, if you're at a bar with a girl and you see her alone, don't be weird, don't be a creep. Just go up and ask her, "Hey, you okay? Can I stand with you until the guy gets here?" Remind her, "Hey, is that the right guy?" But that goes back to being just decent. All I can do is be decent on my own. I can't tell everyone else to be decent. I try to tell them to, but everyone has their own life. But I will always take the extra minute to make sure they're okay. So, just words of wisdom for you. Just be nice. Be kind to people. Teach them how to do things. Be there for them if they need you. Because the random stranger that you do something for, it will help them a lot. And think if that girl's friends maybe just waited or went with her, maybe it could have been prevented. Or someone could have said, "Hey, listen, that's not a Chevy Impala. That's a Chevy Cruze. That's not even the right car." Or, "Hey, are you here to pick up Joe?" If they're Uber drivers, they know your name. It says, Joe whatever. So, but all right, guys, you all have a nice night. Thanks for joining me. We'll have some fun tonight on the college court. I have a premium play tonight, which I'm very excited about. We've had a real nice run with premium selections, 10-3 in the tournament. If you're interested in baseball, I'd love to have you. Feel free to email me, bmocsports@gmail.com, bmocsports@gmail.com. 10% of the take this month that I make from picks, I'll be donating to charity, and I'll be doing that, kind of every once in a while. So if you want to join me and get the premium selections in baseball, they're going to be starting next week, I believe. So if you're interested, you want to join me, all you got to do is email me, bmocsports@gmail.com, bmocsports@gmail.com. It'll be a fun, laid-back summer, trying to make some profit. It will also include all my NFL and NBA draft props. It'll include all my summer league basketball, my NBA playoffs, every play that I make on a premium level will be included in the monthly price. So if you're interested, get in touch with me. We can get you on board. bmocsports@gmail.com. Thanks for joining me. All you stay sucker free. I'm out of here.